Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me and hope the picture is nice and clear for you. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've had the pleasure, since you've had the pleasure, depending on which way you look at it. Um, Nothing exciting to report. It's game week 14. Last time was 13. Let's pretend that it's that it was literally last week. And I'm sure you'll be able to catch up with what's been going on using your excellent memory. If not, then I will do a little bit to remind you just here at the beginning. Evening, Paul. Evening, Alf. Evening, Andrew. Hope you're all well. Real football is back as well. Evening, Alex. Real football is back as well, so hopefully you've had some nice distractions there. Ross is here as well. Ian, excellent. Everyone tuning in. Lovely, lovely. We'll start by having a quick look at the fixtures, just giving everyone a little bit of a chance to jump on. So let's start by doing that. Fixture wise, it's got a couple of interesting matchups here. We are. Is the stream very quiet? I don't know. I can. The sound level looks like it's normal, but I can shout if that helps. If anyone else has an opinion on that, feel free to share. It should be normal. I didn't touch anything at all, so I'll continue. If there's anything, then let me know. The lineup is the the schedule is as follows. There's a bunch of teams from the top half who are playing at home, and there's a bunch of teams from the bottom half who are playing away. We've had one of these weeks before, and it resulted in a bunch of home wins. We'll see if it turns out to be the same. Doesn't seem to have. So if no one else has problems with the audio, then I'm not going to touch it. Um, it looks fine in the software that manages that, so it should be okay. And I haven't changed anything from previous times. Evening Dimple. Um, As said, it's home top teams versus away bottom teams. Let's have a look at the table, remind ourselves. Northern Burn way out in front ish, a couple of points ahead of Foss Road, Dudley Hill, Exiles, and East Coast right behind. And then there's Haggis on 20 above the line. In previous seasons, I think 38 has been more than enough. Could be more this time. We will have to wait and see. Colchester just behind them, Badgers Vikings. It's very close here, 17 down to 14, even 13 on Stanley, and then we have Los Santos on 11 and Stackington under well, four of the three teams at the bottom under relatively new management. We'll see how Scott, Ross, and Craig get on with their respective sides. All of the changes have been made. I think I'm fairly confident, but I could have missed one or two things. So please, if you are watching, then make sure you give me a shout. I'll give it a couple of seconds just on each team before we start, but I think it should be okay overall. We'll see what the game throws up. First, I'll double check to see if the relevant managers are here, and we can take a detour to another match if the people in question haven't had the chance to join yet. It looks as if the suggested game is Badgers against Fulchester. I've seen neither manager um, on the stream so far, so we'll probably change that a little bit. Who else is here? What else do we have in terms of matchups? Let's see, fixtures. Who is here? Who is here? We have Sancte and East Coast could be a good one. We've got both managers here for sure. If you don't mind, then I will start with that. If anyone wants to be on early or late, then let me know. But if there are no objections, which I guess there won't be, we'll start with East Coast against Sancte. East Coast made one change. Constantino comes back in for Tony, who doesn't get a place on the bench. Torres stays there. Their last match was a 3-1 defeat at home to Northern Burn. Poor performance from Bartes. Rustico did well in the center of defense, but that was the biggest positive to take away from that. Patrick Vieira stayed on the whole game, got a 5 and a yellow card. Not excellent news for Byrne, but the manager will be happy enough with the result, of course. So that's how East Coast line up in this game against Sancte. And if we look at Sancte, this is how they line up. I believe there was a bit of a slight adjustment to the tactic they used in the last game. A couple of arrows here and there, one on Totti, one on Valens. I think those were the main changes. And I think one or two changes in personnel. I think Boateng is perhaps. Boateng was the new guy that came in, and Owen starting as well. I think is a difference from the previous match. Previous match, of course, a 1-0 win against Stanley. Good result for them, and not been too bad for Sancte with two 1-0 victories. Let's see, they're up against a tough opposition here, away to East Coast. So let's see how the first game of the evening pans out. It's a good start for the away side. Sancte with a couple of chances here. Jogas is getting involved, but no goals as of yet. And just as I've said that, on 8 minutes, Lee Boyer puts East Coast 1-0 up against the visitors, who seems to have lost a little bit of the control of the momentum they had in the beginning. And it's pretty much all East Coast, with Constantino and Robin getting heavily involved, I think it was. And on the stroke of halftime, fifth goal of the season for Constantino. East Coast 2-0 up against Sancte, who have a mountain to climb in the second half. They're going to get back into this, although maybe they can find an equalizer, or sorry, maybe they can reduce the deficit before halftime, but it doesn't seem to be the case. East Coast go into the break 2-0 up. They have, I would say dominated, maybe a strong word, but they have certainly controlled the first half. If you look at passes completed and tackles one, headers one as well, dominating in those areas, shots and goals, and on target as well. If we look at the player ratings and performances, we'll have a look at Sancte first. Nothing that really stands out. Low number of passes and yeah, a couple of sixes and sevens. This is how it looks on the tactic screen. We will have a look at the condition as well. Everything condition-wise is looking great. So Ross, if you want to make any changes at this stage, then you know your options, and you can hopefully see your performances. While you ponder, we will have a look at East Coast. I presume Dimble is not going to make a bunch of changes. Indeed, Robin was involved, 2 assists. So for both of the goals, Constantino and Boyer getting those goals. Let's have a look at the condition. And they are all well into the 90s. So as predicted, as is for Dimble, we'll go back to the Sancte side, and we will see if Ross has any changes to make to the Sancte side at halftime, or if he continues till the hour mark. Gold push up alongside Totti. No arrows. Well as central, and no arrow. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we'll run till 60 and see if that has any effect. I don't see too many halftime tens in the Super League. No, you definitely don't. Well spotted, Ian, and good point. It's been a stellar performance from Robin so far. Let's see if that continues in the second half. Okay, well, absolutely nothing happened until 60 when Michael Owen picked up an injury. I'm gonna presume straight swap for Montella, but I'll let you decide, Ross, of course, if you want to make any other changes. Um, Condition-wise, everyone else is fine, and it's only a 62 for Owen, so probably not that heavy an injury. But this is what you have to deal with. Um, I won't do the Montella change, of course. I'll wait for you to confirm. Meanwhile, I'll show Dimble what his side are up to. Nothing really changed from halftime. Nothing really happened. Fitness went down a little bit. So I'm going to preempt no changes. Although we might see Nakata coming on. Who knows? Meanwhile, for Sancte, we do Montella for Owen. We do back for Richie Valens. And we swap him with Scholes. Excellent. Thanks to both managers for very quick feedback and input. And we will see. if that will help. If something will happen in nothing happened in those 15 minutes, let's see if anything happens in the last half hour of the first game of the evening. Certainly a lot of chances or a lot of action. Seem to be initially mostly white and green, but Sanctay are coming back into it. Montella's name has popped up a couple of times. Totti was denied there. Bartes with a good save. And then it's back down the other end. An important challenge there by Sanctay defender, preventing East Coast from picking up a third. Both teams continue to have chances to create opportunities. Yellow card there for a Sanctay player. East Coast with a good chance, but they fail to capitalize on that. And there goes the final whistle. Similar performance in the second half, to be fair. Couple of couple of shots. I think it was 3-1 for Sanctay at halftime. Now it was 6-2. East Coast kind of also doubled what they had, and of course the result stays the same. Looking at the performances from Sanctay first, Oliver Kahn and Argel getting nines. The standout performers there, Boateng as well, did a good with an 8. Duff on an 8 as well. Everyone else struggling a little bit. It was 2 good games for Sanctay, 1-0 victories for them, but that run has come to an end. East Coast beating them 2-0, and East Coast, of course, recovering their form after that Northern Burn game last time out. In terms of the performances, everyone did pretty well. Kind of quiet in the Gattuso, Agat, Ronaldinho area, but everyone else on 8s, 9s, and then finally that 10 for Arjen Robben. He keeps that Man of the Match award. Let's see over here if there's anything spectacular he did there. 3 runs, not really. Seems fairly generous to give him a 10 for that performance, but who knows? 5 key passes is always good, I guess. So that's what happened. First game of the evening, East Coast against Sanctay, a win for the home side. We have a proposal for Northern Burn against Stackington. I'm not sure I've seen Duggan around yet. And I think Smuts and Paul volunteered, so we'll probably go with the Foss Road against the Vikings game next. I think there's only one change for Foss Road. I believe it was Yakubu coming in for the injured. Indeed. So if Duggan doesn't turn up, Andrew, indeed you are. So you can be officially in charge and responsible if we don't see Duggan once we get to that game. So thanks for reminding me. I'd kind of forgotten, to be fair. Yakubu came in for Gerard, and I think Tudor is on the bench as the backup for that. So that was the only change for the Unicorns, as I recall. Otherwise, I'm sure it will go on the list of things that have gone against them this season. But I'm confident, and I think Keane is still captain. Yeah, we've got that. So so hopefully no other issues. Um, Vikings, meanwhile, a couple of changes here. I forget exactly what they are. I believe Aymar came in the center of midfield. Del Vecchio has of course joined, so he is there. And next to Hersey. Did Duggan even submit a team? Yes, Duggan did indeed submit team and tactics at some point last night. I overlooked them and asked him where they were, and he had sent them. And Duggan is here just in time for missing out on your game, but you can be next. You can be next. I hope this is accurate, Paul. This is, I believe, what you sent through. So hopefully everything looks good. Del Vecchio will be assigned a squad number automatically. I've kind of lost track if there was anything that you definitely didn't want, and I think I have already made the critical mistake, so it should be fine. Um, Without further ado, let's dive into this one and give Del Vecchio number 17. I'm sure he'll be delighted. Foss Road against Vikings in their lovely grey and black away kit. We kick this one off and see if Foss Road. Oh, we should have maybe looked at previous results. We'll do that for the next game. I apologize for that. Um, Great start for Vikings. Hersey is the source scorer. I was about to question playing him on the right, but I guess with Del Vecchio coming in on that left-hand side, it kind of does make sense. Hersey is a fairly versatile. Del Vecchio makes it 2-0 in 10 minutes. A terrible start for Foss Road, an excellent one for Vikings, finally finding some of the form that they saw under the previous manager, and we reach halftime without any other incident. 5 shots, 1 on target for Foss Road, 2 and 2 for Vikings. Poor goalkeeping performance for the home side. Manager will not be particularly impressed with that. All immediately goes as is. Yeah, well, you have got Yepes on a six. Fitness wise, you're doing okay. Um, Steve mentions that Hersey has been great. He has indeed. That's his sixth goal contribution. 5 goals for the season, same as Constantino now. So excellent performance from young Hersey so far, and Del Vecchio, of course. Um, the much discussed transfer. That's his debut, and he picks up a goal. So not too bad, not too bad. He's on a seven. Could obviously be better, but not too bad, not too bad at all. Paulus already says as is, so I'm just going to briefly click on this one just for the sake of continuity, I guess. Meanwhile, over at Foss Road, Nick Matulin is on a four. Very unusual. He has been relatively solid for them, sevens and eights, sort of pretty much every week. Down on a four. Manager will be disappointed with that. Could be a record number of narrow formations on display tonight. There could indeed, Scott. There could indeed. I think I've spotted at least three, perhaps four, which is how it is. But there are also plenty of people playing the, let's say, the Timmy formation or Champazzo formation or whatever it was called, which was widely agreed that was never ever going to work. Um, Foss Road at halftime. If you want to make any changes, Smuts, then here are the your options. Um, Never seen Nick Matulin on a four. No. I mean, I have very poor memory of these things, but you're probably right, Andrew. It would take lost 40 attempts to score 2 goals. Possibly, possibly. I've struggled to convert, to be fair. So that's a fairly accurate assessment of your own side there, Alf. But we'll see if fortune favors you tonight. Um, Kevin Hoffland on an eight, the only Foss Road player who's been excellent this evening. We'll see. I presume Smuts is pondering some kind of major rewrap to try and get back into this one. So we'll give him another minute or so just to get all the get all the movements and substitutions in the right order to make it make sense. I presume that's the I presume that's what's going on at the moment. In the meantime, we can have a look at the action report. It was Imar with the assist for the Hersey goal, and it was Hersey with the assist for the Del Vecchio goal, was it? Indeed, it was. That takes him up to 7 goal contributions for the season. So very impressive from Hersey so far. It's developed quite well, of course, since the beginning of the game. Never really did much at Dudley Hill, but did have a bunch of substitute appearances, which I guess aided his development, which someone else is now benefiting from. I will have to rush the home side now, otherwise I will just go to 60 and we can take the changes there. Right, in the interest of less radio silence, we're going to run to 60 and proceed with the changes there. We'll do it on fast just to allow a little bit of extra time. Stands 2 for Foss Road here early on in the second half, but it momentum swings back in Vikings' favor, and it's 3-0 now, thanks to that Thierry Henry goal. We post the match at 60. Uh, he is indeed, or he was, Alex. He said he's here if Paul wanted an early game, so I put it on next. But I'll leave it up to you to make any tactical changes if you would like here on the hour mark. I'll just show Vikings first. I presume Paul is not going to make anything spectacular. Fitness-wise, you're doing okay. And I'm not entirely sure what the issue is here. Have I pressed something? I'm not sure if you're seeing what I am seeing, but it's not going into the tactics screens. If anyone has any suggestions, need to let it run. This has never happened to me before in 22 years. It will go to tactics. Oh, this is unusual. Huh. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the advice. I'd, I'd never actually done that before, but I guess that's how it's working as designed. So fair enough. Um, I don't know. I don't know how many hundreds of these I've done, but who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I presume Paul is not going to make. Back to the conversation. I presume that Paul is not going to make any changes. But Paul, if you could please confirm, these are your options fitness-wise. I think you were doing okay. Indeed, you were. Um, I will show the Foss Road screen. Nick Matulian is now down on a 3. I don't think Smart says got to look after the keys. Please don't do what's next. But that's kind of a little bit too late. I apologize. Alex, if you want to do something, then you can, I guess, if Smart isn't busy with other things. Although a 3-0 down. 2 AMCs put the wrong on the left of the 2. We'll do that. Sorchinski for Volodenko. Okay, I'll do that in a second. Anything else for you, Alex? The conditions. Right. Okay, I'll cancel this one then, and then I will go over to Vikings and I will do Sorochinski for Voldenkov, and then I will and I will go back to Post Road. You're down 3-0, and Nick Matulin is on a 3. So I'm not sure. Um, yeah, indeed, indeed. We do a keeper swap, and good. Let's run until the end and see if that makes any changes. Consolation goal, maybe. For Foss Road with those changes. Peru to getting a run here, see if he can manage to keep out a shot. Hoffland with his first goal of the season, still 20 minutes to play. A little bit less now, but Foss Road have been certainly seeing the better of it. And there is a penalty, and that is Crespo. Let's put this one down to fast with 10 minutes to play. They could find a way back into this. That would be something of a comeback, given the performance so far in the game. 5 minutes still to play. Santa Cruz straight in an offside position. There comes Keane. Van der Vaart moves too soon. That was offside. 4 minutes of added time, though. Could all still be about to go in Foss Road's favor. Del Vecchio couldn't find the back of the net. Vikings come forward again with another opportunity, but fail to capitalize again. And there's Baumer from 30 yards. Thierry Henry comes forward, being held back by Hoffland. Haimar has a go from the free kick, bounces off the wall. Last chance of the game? Nope. It wasn't going to be a miraculous recovery from Foss Road. Vikings win this one 3-2. 4 shots on target each. Nick Matulian probably cost them a bit there, but excellent comeback from Foss Road in the last 30 minutes. Certainly did a lot better there. Cafu on a 9 and an assist. And meanwhile, the man of the match was Kevin Hoffland, picked up that 7 but got a goal. Nick Matulin on a 3. Wonder if we'll see him in action in the next game or if he will have to sit that one out. So overall, interesting game, lots of action. Del Vecchio on the score sheet for Vikings, 3 important points for them. Tough one for Foss Road there with the keeper performing so badly. That's definitely not what you want to see. Um, no, I was thinking that because you said please don't do us next. We were like already at half time spot. So, but yeah, apologies for that and for the kind of mess up with the tactic screen around the hour mark. A big Hoffland performance. We don't see many of them in the league. To be fair, we don't see many big Hoffland performances in the league. 754 average. I guess he doesn't really. The first season he stood out in those 15 games. Anyway, we click on with let's do. Did I say that someone could be next? I forgot that. I forgot that already because. Anyway, we will do Dudley Hill next. He is here for sure. Scott, I think, was here as well, so we should be good for this one. There were some changes. He did say us. Did I say Duggan? We can do Duggan. We can do Stackington against Northern Burn. That's no problem at all. Stackington, go with an arrow formation. Rivaldo is the captain in central midfield. Saviola, Agahao, Del Piero, Elba. Trying to squeeze in a lot of good players here. Viali comes in at central defense as well, and Marinho. Apologies, Scott. I did promise. I'll try and stick to it. You'll be next. You'll be next for sure. You'll be next. So we'll see if Dackington can get something out of this. I guess maybe inspired by Sloth's victory against Byrne earlier this season. So we'll see if this will work out in their favor. Home state favorite tactic files. Yeah, it could be. Anyway, this is how Stackington line up as Sao gets number 21 because why not? Meanwhile, over at Northern Burn, I think Riquelme comes into midfield for Vieira. I think that was the change, and they swap around. So Milevski's on the right, and then there was 1 or 2 changes on the bench. Forget exactly what it was, but hopefully I've got it right, Ian. If not, then I'm sure you'll let me know to swap Riquelme or Milevski. But I think this is right. Emerson, of course, having a relatively good season, and Dede, who came in, has taken over from Lyon Pio, who did relatively well early on. And then Northern Burn, of course, top of the table, so nothing for the manager to complain about so far. We kick this one off. Northern Burn taking on Stackington in what I think most would predict a win for the home side, top versus bottom, and it's Brosek who opens the scoring. Um, as as predicted, I guess. But Stackington not without their chances, but they're very, very difficult to break down Northern Burn, and there is Brosek with his second, obviously a fan favorite, Pavel of um, local team Wisła Krakow here at Super League HQ. Viali puts one back for Stackington. As mentioned, they haven't been without their own chances. 5-3 for Burn and 3-2 for Stackington. Not a great night for goalkeepers so far, but not terrible either. Not Nick Matulin bad. It is a 5 for Buffon though. 5 for Elba as well. Feeling a bit lonely up there on top. Ian goes as is, of course. We'll see if Duggan wants to make any changes. Quick look at Northern Burn stats, just in case you're interested. It was Dede with one of the assists, and the other one for Brosek was unassisted. Hupia on yellow. The assist was from Saviola for Stackington. Elba for Agahawa. Elba for Agahawa. Agahawa for Gustavo Lopez. And done. Good. We run till 60 with that. Good start to the second half for Brosek. That's his hat trick. No one was picking up his run there. and we go to the I presume as is, unless you want to see Joe Cole in for Milevsky on that 6, Ian, but presumably an as is for you. Um, Over here at Stackington, Buffon's dropped down to a 4. Not going well for Mourinho. Uh, Not going well in general. Duggan goes as is. Probably not having much hope of getting back into this one. We will see. We will see. Will we get 4 goals in one game for the same player? It's been a while since we've had that. Zidane did it once, as I recall. 15 minutes of play. Northern Burns seems to be in full control of this one. There's Brose coming forward again and again. That's got to be a 10 and a man of the match for him. Oh my goodness, it is. Oh, an offside. It could have been very, very exciting here at the end, but that Stackington goal was ruled out for offside, and instead um, it was Saviola coming forward. Ika Casillas save. So Gustavo Lopez can't miss. We have 4 minutes still to play. Stackington could still get back into this. Another 3-2 on the cards here, maybe. Um, Unless, of course, Northern Burn can put it to bed here. Corner kick for them. Riquelme steps up, drifts in the corner. There's Hippier, but Buffon does well to push it behind. He had a terrible start to the game, but it seems as if he's coming back into it. Um, he's doing his best now to to keep Stackington in this, and he's managing to do so. But there comes the final whistle. Some keepers don't like the wet conditions tonight. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Buffon certainly improved after that third goal from Northern Burn, but not enough from Stackington. They did have a goal ruled out for offside. Managed to find the second, but not quite there. Not quite there in a tough away game against Northern Burn. Assist for both Elba and Saviola on a 6, though. Not a great performance, to be fair, from the Stackington side, although they 2 goals away against the solid Northern Burn defence, who I believe hadn't conceded at home, or is that my imagination? Um, I could be wrong, but that was a fact at some point. Um, Assists for Ndiaye, assists for Dede. Excellent performance from Northern Burn. Not much to dwell on here. Dede and Emerton getting a little bit tired with those long runs down the flanks, but that's just about it for the story of the game. 3-2 Northern Burn. They stay top, especially with Foss Road losing. Next up, we promised Dudley, so we will go to Steve and have a look at this. I think Mark Kerr comes in for something for Amazon, presumably. I don't fully remember, but if there's anything I've forgotten, Steve, I'm sure you'll let me know. But I think it was just one change from you, and I think it was related to care for. I think that was the change that you made last match. Of course, a 1-0 win against Stackington. Kieran Dye on a 9 there. So overall, very good, very good. And meanwhile, over at Los Santos, major changes is maybe a strong word, but it's an arrow. It's an arrow, and it's very similar to the one that we saw Sancte try. We have Maldini and Hencho at the back, Kalata, Kalushny, and Biscan in there. Start for Justin Walker, who has done pretty well down in the reserves, and a solid right hand column, which I know many people appreciate. We'll see if that translates into some 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 action here in the first team. We've got Matthew Christensen on the bench as well, joined recently from Coventry. Has developed relatively well. A couple of good 20s in there, stamina. Still maybe lacking a little bit in some areas, positioning especially, but might see him in action. Certainly an interesting signing for Los Santos with another one in the pipeline. So all good at LSK. We shall see how they get on against Dudley Hill. Kick off the first half. Christensen being assigned number 38, and it's Dudley versus Los Santos. Good stuff for both sides, both having a chance in the first 10 minutes. It's always positive. See something going on. Roberto Carlos comes forward. He had a good start to the season, but I feel as if he's dropped off a little bit, Roberto Carlos. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate, but I think his assists were earlier. There's Kieran Dyer. He had a good game last time out. He opens the scoring for Dudley Hill in 22 minutes. We speed quickly up to the 40-minute mark. And it seems to be a lot in Dudley's favour coming up towards the end of the first half, and indeed they stay 1-0 ahead up until half-time mark. I thought it looked a little bit more a Dudley game than a Los Santos game, but it on the numbers here show that it's fairly even, apart from the headers one, which were heavily in Los Santos' favour, but haven't turned out to be um, a benefit for them. It looks as if it's mainly sixes and sevens, so we might see Matthew Christensen sooner rather than later. Tristan as well is an option for Scott. Condition-wise, I'll just show it here a little bit clearer. Nedved, the only one who's not struggling, but lower than average. Christensen for Salva. Oh, let's see, plenty of changes here already. An active manager, Tristan for Pizarro, and then we said Salva, Christensen, and I believe swap with Nedved. Christensen for Salva, swap with Nedved, Tristan for Pizarro. Excellent. Um, those are Scott's instructions. We'll move over to Dudley Hill and see how they're performing. There was an assist for Mark Kerr, so good for him. Scotland could need him tonight. I haven't checked how it's going, but it wasn't going well earlier, to be honest. Um, Mainly thanks to Angus Gunn channeling his inner Jordan Pickford and not being able to save anything. Still losing apparently, 2-1. Lewandowski penalty. Good. Leave it as it says SD. So we do that, and we will try and get to 60. Kieran Dyer getting involved again. Kieran Dyer again. Marker. We see that midfield a lot from Dudley today. They have been doing very well. D'Alessandro has been quite anonymous. He's the one sitting on a 6. Condition-wise, I think you're good. Lassisi down on 83. Nothing too dramatic. You have Ado on the bench, of course, if you want to do something there. Nothing from me, says Scott. He already made his changes, of course, or the interesting ones anyway, available to him. 25 minutes left to play. Both managers go as is. Let's see if Los Santos can find a way back into this, or if Dudley can hang on. 20 minutes skip past without a lot happening. We'll put it down to fast just to see if something crops up here. Free kick to Dudley Hill. Dyer takes it. Taby with a dive. Excellent save. Corner kick to Alessandro. To Roberto Carlos. Nothing else happens. It's Roberto Carlos again. We have seen a lot of both the wingers in this one, to be honest. This is, of course, the danger. I think it's a 4th game, Mike. Stanley's not played yet. Don't worry. 3 minutes of added time. Hetman restarts it. Taby punches clear. I don't think there's been a lot of chances for Los Santos. It's been a little bit of a when slots have a bad day, narrow kind of day for them. Tricky to see them finding a goal here, but having said that, everything can happen in the Super League, of course, but it has been pretty much all Dudley Hill. Free kick to Los Santos. Hetman gets the ball away. Lee Chun-so comes forward. There's Christensen. Diane Lassisi tidies up. Nedved lines up the free kick off the wall. There's Walker. Nothing happening. They keep trying. That's got to be the final whistle, and indeed it is. Dudley Hill with pretty much full control in the second half. Not a lot happening in terms of Los Santos. They ran offside a couple of times, and that was pretty much it. An 8 for Biscan and the keeper, 7 and 6s for everyone else. That's the reality when the narrow doesn't work out. Over on the Dudley Hill side, a solid performance from them. Kieran Dyer and Roberto Carlos both enjoying the freedom of having no opponents out on the wings and running the games from there. 8s and 7s for everyone else, and of course Kieran Dyer getting the goal and somehow not getting man of the match. But there you are, Roberto Carlos with a lot of passes. Maybe that was it. Well played, Dudley. Yeah, well played, Los Santos as well. Nice to see people trying a different formation to mix it up a bit, but unfortunately it didn't bring any results for the away side. Next up, we have Sloths versus Haggis. So we will see another narrow in action, and an ultra narrow with only one block of three. This is version 14 of the formation from Alf with some interesting changes in the background, presumably. I do like to see Brooking with that forward arrow. That is one of my favorite things on the game and in the Super League in general. Petit and Makalele holding the fort at central midfield next to Rui Costa, who moves forward. Johnson, Stanweth, and Electropoulos trying to keep the clean sheet against the visitors. I presume that Ian is busy with the Scotland game or something else. I haven't seen him around, but this is how they line up. A couple of changes. Kili Gonzalez comes in. I don't think we've seen him too much this season. There's Jeremy's, of course, coming in as well. Del Vecchio got a goal in his debut. Let's see what Jeremy's can do. Samuel and Cannavaro at the back. This is how it looked. Shax's moved into the middle. Pires is on the right. I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate, but I guess so. Good luck, Haggis, says Andrew. Indeed, good luck, Haggis. Good luck to Sloths as well. Yeramis gets number 32, no number 9 for him. And we kick this one off with the home side. Looking for some narrow success this evening. There's not been a huge amount of it so far, but could be about to change. Or will we see a repeat of the previous games where the wingers enjoy the freedom that they get having no direct opponents? No penalty for Sloths. A claim was turned down, and Haggis had a chance immediately after that, but no one has really taken fully charge of the first half yet. Probably the rejected penalty claim being the biggest chance so far. I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative, but good finish to the first half from Haggis. But the same for Sloths, coming back just on 45 minutes. Can they find the back of the net? Can either side find the back of the net? It's difficult to see who has the ball here, actually. Nope, neither of them can. 0-0. Haggis with the most chances, but overall, Sloths haven't been doing too badly. Lots of passes completed as well. That's always positive, not giving the ball away. Quick look at the Haggis performances. 8s and 6s and 7s, and nothing that really stands out. 3 shots from Robert Pires. It's maybe an unusual source considering you've got Tomadera and Ruud van Nistelrooy, but there we go. Jeremy's already on a yellow. He is on an 8 though, so a solid performance from him in central midfield. Meanwhile, over at Sloths, it has been a bit of a mixed bag, but lots of 7 and 8s and only 1 6 by Jaap Stam, who I'm sure will improve in the second half. We'll give a quick look to the condition. Everyone is doing well. Costa's down on 86, but still plenty of plenty of miles in the legs. Alf goes as is, and as I haven't seen Ian around, we're gonna run until 60. And see if anyone can break the deadlock here. Tomadera with a great chance, a couple of great chances actually for him, 3 great chances for him, but failed to open the scoring. It skips to 60, we're on 65 now. Hopefully the break will come fairly soon, and indeed there it did. Matai Kessman on a 9, despite having done not much at all for Sloths. It's still looking relatively good in terms of performances, but no one's finding the back of the net. Rui Costa's now down on 80%. Kessman on 82. I'll just show you quickly the match stats. Indeed, Sloths have had a little bit more here in the second half than Haggis. I'll leave you to ponder Alf for a second. I'll just show the Haggis stats very quickly. 7s and 8s. Jeremy's still on an 8 and still on a yellow. In the danger zone, of course. And we'll see if the Sloths manager makes any changes. And if he does, what will they be? I mean, how will it affect the second half? As mentioned, Rui Costa is down on 80%. That's the only real fitness concern. Yes, Franca on the bench who could potentially come in and do something attacking wise. Missed the conditions. There they are. Rui Costa on 80, Kessman on 82, Shearer on 82. Those are your kind of low 80s, but no one in their 70s. So you should be, and with only 24 minutes to play, you should be good to go in terms of fitness, unless you want to protect Rui Costa, who is a little bit prone to low fitness, as I recall. from previous rounds. Thank you, Keen. That's all. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. We run until full time and see if anyone can find a goal in this one. Could be a first goalless draw of the evening. 15 minutes left to play, and now 10 minutes left to play. And it still looks as if this could go all the way without a goal. There comes Haggis, but no, indeed. It wasn't for the for want of trying. Excellent pass completion rate by Sloth there, probably the number that stands out. But 12 shots in total on target and not a single goal between them. And neither manager will be particularly pleased with that, but at least there's a solid goalkeeper performance in there somewhere. 9 for the away keeper and 9 for Jeremy's as well. There's a lot of tackling going on there. 18 and 12, 20 tackles and 10-1. Same old story, not taking chances. Matthias Kessman somehow getting a 7. Oh, sorry, getting a 10. I, 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 I'm at loss for words here, really. But never mind. See if there's something hidden over here. Runs, 9 runs. I guess that's when you run past the opponents from memory. And then 2 offsides. Rui Costa somehow getting himself offside 4 times from central midfield. Well done. Well done, Rui Costa. Either way, that was the end of this one. I'll just show this one again in case I missed it. And we have got badges against Fulchester coming up next. We still need Stanley against Exiles as well. Kessman with the oddest tens of all time. Indeed, it was a very odd 10. I haven't seen Dan around. Uh, as Tato's singing his own team's praises, we'll do that now. I see Mike and Neil are both here, so you'll be on in a minute, chaps. We'll just do the badges against Colchester first. What? We don't get to see the squads or anything? Aha, here we are. Indeed, tactics. I think Ray Parler comes in and Michael Stewart comes in due to injuries to Michelini and to Vogel. So those are interesting names that you don't see starting too often in the Super League. Ray Parler has got to be one of his first games. Yeah, indeed, it is his first game in the Super League. Solid right hand column, as they say. Good pace. And overall, not a bad looking player, but don't think I've seen him do much in the Super League ever. I'm not sure I've seen him play in the Super League ever. Steve will correct me on this one, of course, or Ian, or someone with better memory than me. But Ray Parler, what did Macca play him? I can't remember. Maybe someone has used him in the past. Someone will remind me. This is Volchester anyway, how they line up. Zanetti will be set as captain. Batch made a bunch of changes. I hope they're accurate. Sigalko has obviously come in. He plays next to Nikiforenko with Edgar Davids in between them. I guess it doesn't make a bunch of sense to me, but but Tato's here. He can correct me if I've completely misunderstood the objective. But it says David's at MC, but the tactic file doesn't have an MC, so I don't know if I should pull him back or what's the story here. But feel free uh, to let me know. Um, that's that's what you sent through. But I guess maybe you want the David's back and Nikiforenko at AMC. You emailed the tactic file, did you? I can fix that. I can fix that easily. I, I, oh yeah, your name is Liam. I forget that. I forget that. Apologies. Apologies for that. Just a second. I will pop on the holding screen, and I will try and fix that. Uh, no, 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 no. Of course I can be bothered. Of course I can be bothered. I forget what it was called though. That just season 16 something. Uh, Aha, indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, give me a brief second and I will make sure that that is corrected. Apologies for that. Sometimes things turn out a little bit different than we intend them to, but here we are. And should be it. Let me get back to the main screen. So let me know if this looks any better. I I believe so. I believe this is probably what you what you intended. Um, four on the right, gigs right, indeed, indeed. Um, all good, I presume. Excellent, excellent. Apologies for the small delay. I just have it at AMC's an idea. I know it is, isn't it? I mean, first I was thinking about it and I was thinking this looks strange, but he's so good. It should be possible. It's worth trying out. I feel like it's worth trying out. Anyway, without further ado, Sigalko gets number 9, and we fire into this one. And yet, I don't know what he's up to, injured or something, who knows. Badgers against Fulchester. Let's kick this one off. So Mike and Neil don't have to wait too much longer for their turn. Will we get some goals out of Sigalko? That's the question. Van Bommel has 20 in the editor for AMC. Did anyone play Van Bommel at AMC though? I remember seeing that. Meanwhile, in this game, not many things have happened. We're on 40 minutes. There have been chances, but none of them have resulted in a goal so far. We get to 48 minutes, and it's Petrov opens the scoring for Colchester. Unlikely hero for them if it stays this way, of course. One shot on target for for both teams. Not been brilliant. We'll have a look at Colchester first. Viduka's on a 5. Zanetti gets an assist. He's on an 8. He's probably been one of the star performers so far. And there is Ray Parler on a 6. Not brilliant from Colchester, but they do lead. No fitness concerns. Viduka's down to 84. Have you time for player stats tonight? Yes, I can show them on screen now if you want. That's no problem. Um, Hello, Dan. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. Good to see you. As is still 60, then David's to AMC. Fulchester wants an Elke for Viduka, so we will do that. Excellent. Onwards with the second half. Not what happened in the first. And there is David Beckham. And there is Giggs picking up an injury. Well, hey, the champions. Where do we go from here, champions? You've got Shimkoviak on the bench. Yes, I'll let you decide. I'll let you decide what happens here. Could go narrow. Probably I can swap with Rayad. Uh, where are we? Gigs. Rayad. Yeah, could be massive. Condition. The condition has disappeared. Is that good? I doubt it. Let's see. Uh, at 60 minutes, last Davis to AMC, next Nikiforenko errors on both of them. Please, thanks. That's all. Okay. We shall do that. Let's have a quick look. He's on zero condition. That's that's not it's not good. I feel like that's not good. It's not often I see that. We run till 60, and I will do those changes. There we go. Davids to AMC, Nikiforenko, arrows on both of them. Thanks. That's all. There we go. I guess that's it. Looking forward to see what that Giggs injury is. And Dan says play on. Let's have a look at Fulchester here. Looking okay and no fitness concerns, so we will just run until the end. See if Badgers can find a way back into this one without Giggs there. Main creator. Sigalko has not impressed really so far, but with 15 minutes left to play, could still be a goal in this one for him. Interesting, interesting. There was a Nelka getting involved. He's not sure how he's going to take sitting on the bench. There is Sigalko. Opens the scoring. Oh, apologies for that. I just wanted to change the commentary speed for the last couple of minutes. See if, if excellent tackle there. Um, but Galco gets a goal. 4 badges. That's probably the best the manager can take away from this one. There's header from Galco, but Bray saves it. Could have been a great goal. Oh, free kick. Beckham takes it. It's Fulchester coming forward now. And there goes the final whistle. Almost a comeback. Uh, almost a comeback. But it wasn't to be. 3 shots on target for both managers. Pretty solid away performance from Fulchester. They struggled to get the striker into the game, but the rest of the team seems to be doing pretty well. Seedorf getting the assist there. Same old story for Badgers. Struggling to find the back of the net. But there was an assist. It was for Shimkoviak. It was not for Edgar Davids, who did do relatively well. He is on an 8. So it was only really Battaglia that didn't do particularly well. Everyone else kind of turned up tonight. So yeah, not overall a terrible performance. Just a little bit unlucky not to get the goals. Tigalco 3 shots on target. He did score, get man of the match, and decent overall, which is probably the same as he did in the first whatever 13 games for Stanley. So I can't complain too much about that. Anyway, we'll jump into the last game of the evening, and then we're going to see what happens. Right? I guess that's going to be an interesting one. Um, Exiles. They did a thing. I think Farias comes in for Figo. I think that was one of the key changes, if not the only change. My memory is failing me. Uh, exactly. Ronald Gomez. We're finally going to see. Well, he's on the bench. He's on the bench. He might come on. Best player in the reserves. Out of all the teams, I think he's been the best with 6 goals in 11 games and plenty of man of match awards. He is on the bench tonight. We might see him later. I hope so. But nothing is guaranteed, of course. But if anyone's going to bring him on, it's going to be Neil. Got faith in you. Interesting how they will perform against Stanley. Last match was a 3-0 win against Fulchester, who did get half the team sent off, and the other ones played a 5. So maybe not really read too much into that. But anyway, on a good run of form, I guess, with that game and that 1-0 win against Bern prior to this. That's Exiles. Here is Stanley. I seem to remember there were also some changes here. I hope they are correct. If not, feel free to correct me, Mike. Um, Same Gary Neville out for Okoronkwo and Rossini to the MCFC role. I think that's what I've done. So hopefully that's correct. Okoronkwo came in there, and Rossini in the MTFC. So that should all be good. Rossini will get a squad number, of course. Presumably Tsigalko's old number. I don't know what that was, but he gets number 34. So there we go. And we proceed to the match. Stanley in their away colours up against the Exiles. Let's see how the last game of the evening goes. Good pressure from Stanley early on, but Exiles stand firm. We jump to 30 minutes with nothing happening, with all those DMCs just looking at each other. And we get to halftime, or do we? No, we do not. Raul opens scoring for Exiles. I think we were 3 minutes into at the time of the first half, and uh, marvelous, marvelous. Great advert for the game and the Super League in general. 1-1 here. I will always remember Ronald Gomez cameo. A lovely fight never to be seen again. Perfect. An excellent match here. An excellent match here. Someone would have been very proud of that. Greaves, you would have been proud of this game. Maybe a little bit too much, too many goals for him. But apart from that, he would have loved this one. Um, so Marcy on the topic of bizarre tens, where do you stand on this one, Neil? For Marcy at a 10 at halftime for something. But yeah, overall, looking good. Meanwhile, it's sixes mainly, and a 6 and an 8 for Nicky Butt, and a 7 for Candela for Stanley. Condition wise, nothing. Maybe Roberto on 84 worth keeping an eye on. And over at Stanley, condition wise, everyone on 90, but obviously rating wise, so so. Neil goes as is, so I'll leave it on the Stanley screen. Mike, if you want to make any changes. We'll see if Tomasi stays on that 10 until full time because that is going to be a contender for the least the, the least fair or relevant 10 ever given. Kind of like the Ballon d'Or things that is, I guess, is what is in the news at the moment. We shall run till 60. Um, let's see if anything happens. Did someone have a shot on? Oh, Exiles had two shots, not on target, but you had at least you had two shots. Stanley, nothing really happened since halftime. Fitness-wise, you're looking very similar. Um, Roll has had a couple more shots, not on target. Condition 81 for Ciro Roberto. Everyone else is in the 90s, Neil. So if you want to do anything, bring it on Ronald Gomez, for example, would be nice. But yes, exactly. Gomez for Farias, and that's it. Excellent. We have a look at Stanley. See if Mike wants to do anything. Hopefully, Gomez will be a little bit more lucky than he was for Nolan Byrne 6 or 7 seasons ago. I don't remember that. I don't remember Ronald Gomez for playing for you. Was this in the B-Tech days or what, Ian? I don't seem to recall that. That was off the AMCs. We do that. Sand off for Mido. Mido to SC. Done. With the sort of random, not random, with the centralization, I presume. Um, should be okay. If you want me to swap Rossini and Mido, let me know. Okay. Right. So we run like this. Half an hour's play, final game of the evening. We'll have a look at the player stats afterwards, as Alf requested. See if Stanley can find a way back into this one, or if Ronald Gomez will prove too big of a mouthful for them and put this one to bed. He's been itching for a run in the first team, I can tell you, after his excellent performances in the reserves. Great to see his manager finally rewarding him, but let's see if he manages to make the most of it and take his chances here. If he gets any, who knows? Raul might just suck them all up. Let's get this down here too fast. There was a corner. Rossini was in an outside position. Poor. Stanley were looking to get a corner there. That comes Salihamidzic. There's Mido, but they don't get anything out of that. Vargas smashing is low, but sends it wide, and there goes the final whistle. Um, Good performance from Stanley in the second half. They certainly vastly improved compared to the first half, but unlucky not to find the back of the net. And Exalt manages to hold on. Stanley stats: sevens for everyone, and 8 for Vincent Candela. Rossini with 3 shots on target. Ronaldo 2 shots, both on target as well. So it's not for the want of trying. They just couldn't break them down. And Tomasi he drops to a 9, but still gets man of the match. So well done him. Ronald Gomez came on, didn't do much, and got a 7 for his effort there. Costanzo on a 9, obviously, saving all those 6 shots that Stanley had on target. Something isn't working at the moment. Um, could be better. Could be better. Tomasi won an 8 at 60. Yeah. 10 at halftime, 8 at 60, finishes on a 9 and man of the match. That's how it is. That's how the game goes sometimes. So let's see the final results. Away wins for Fulchester and for Vikings. Home wins for Dudley Hill, for East Coast, for Exiles, and for Northern Burn. And a 0-0 draw between Slots and Haggis leaves the table looking something like this. Northern Burn now 5 points clear, 11 points clear of Fulchester in 7th. Looking good for Northern Burn, on track for total points in the high 50s, if not reaching 60. So excellent for them. Only flying the ointment, of course, conceding 2 goals at home. That's I don't know, something that Ian's gonna have to work on. Anyway, Exiles with that excellent defensive record, only 8 conceded all season, 14 games played. That brings them up to third place. Third in this economy. Well, if you don't concede goals and you occasionally score some, then that's what's going to happen. But it's very tight, of course, 26 and 3 teams on 25. Vikings within touching distance of Haggis, same as Fulchester. Sloths and Badgers on 16. Sanctuary Stanley, and down at the bottom, Stackington and Los Santos. Stackington with only 9 goals and still looking for the first win of the season. Not looking great for them. In the interest of everyone, uh, let's see what Ryan Giggs is up to these days. If it's already 5 months with torn ankle ligaments, commiserations. Commiserations. Um, he hasn't had a wonderful season so far, so maybe it's not that bad. Someone else will get the chance, but probably not what his manager wanted to see. Um, Meanwhile, player stats, Alf was asking, so let's do that. Average rating, Steven Gerrard has overtaken Marcel Desailly, the DMC monsters of Exiles, taking up the next 2 spots, and then come Ronnie Johnson from the Sloths. Kieran Dyer, creative force on the wing for Dudley Hill, is on 7.93, same as Ndiaye, same as Carlos from the other wing. He's on 86, the other wing from Dudley. And then we've got some other players. You can read them for yourself. This will be posted, or the top 30 actually will be posted on the Twitter tomorrow, so you can have a bit of more of a look there if you want, or you can of course view it here. Goals is Crespo and Inzaghi both on 8. Vieri is on 7. And what else do we have? A bunch of people on 5s and 4s, whatever. Penalties. Filippo Inzaghi has had more penalties. No, he has had the same number of penalties as every other team in the league. This is kind of like a conspiracy thing. It's got to be a conspiracy thing, hasn't it? Is that really true? Northern Burn has had 5 penalties, and the rest of the league has had 5 penalties. That might go some way to explaining something. We look at the assists. It's Roberto Carlos. It's Riquelme has done well as well on the assists. Cafu for Vikings. Vikings starting to pick up some form here. They could be on track for a top half finish if they can keep it up, which would be impressive after the relatively poor start to the season they had, and the managers being being questioned so heavily. Red cards is kind of completely uninteresting because there's only people with 1 yellow cards. Is Patrick Vieira, unsurprisingly. Saeed as well is up there. I don't think anyone is gonna be too surprised there. Roberto Carlos, Dragatos, Tomasi with Man of the Match awards. Pass completion is central defenders because it always is the most pointless stat in the game. Best tackler, Keane, Tomasi, Desai, Boot, Sol Campbell and Walter Samuel. Mm, Nicky Butt has always done well, to be honest, so perhaps no big surprises here either. The dribblers is Roberto Tomadeira for some reason, and some other people. Shots on target percentage, always a fun one. Saviola, because he rarely scores. Robbie Keane, who also rarely scores, is also up there. And David Collins, who is currently out injured, is up there as well. So that's the player stats. As mentioned, they will be out in a tweet as well at some point, not too distant. Perhaps later. Perhaps not. Perhaps not. Um, uh, I'll drop a note in the all manager chat. Fixtures are as follows. We'll be back next week. All of the big sides, or most of the big sides, are away from home. So we have got this funny one where there's a one game that plays one game later, but we'll try and do them in the same. It should be okay to do them in the same show. You will. I won't do a new pack. I'll do same packs. So Dimple and Tato, you will get the same pack. And if anything changes, I'll quickly run through those couple of days. If anything changes, you can do the changes live. Both of you are usually here, so it shouldn't be a problem. So that's what happens next time out. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you all later. Enjoy your evening. Good night.